What's up, and welcome back to the DualSense podcast, or welcome in if you're a noob. This is episode 101. I'm one of your co hosts, Jason, and I'm joined, of course, as always, by your other co host, whose Zencaster name this evening is Biso Mikulo. Biso Mikulo. Do I even want to ask what that means?
It's Beso Mikulo.
Oh, well, excuse me. I'm not
Yeah.
Cuban or whatever. What
Do
does
you
that
know
mean?
do you have a guess?
I hope I don't have to edit it out. That's all I'm going to say.
It means kiss my ass.
Beso mi culo. He's also known as Travis when he's not sharing Spanish slang with us. And what's going on tonight?
Pretty sure they yell Beso Mikulo on one of the Rainbow Sixes or the Far Cries.
Oh, interesting.
I
That's
think
pretty.
it's
That's
in
pretty
6.
likely.
I think it's in 6. But anyway,
Yeah.
nothing exciting other than everybody can Beso Mikulo.
Yes, they certainly can. They certainly can. Well, I'm sitting here with my Starbucks iced coffee. I'm good to go. I'm a basic bitch. Did you know that about me?
I hope you choke.
If I choke on my iced coffee and die, then you have to do the show by yourself. You have to keep it going. You have to make that promise to me.
Yeah, I'll finish the show and then I'll call the ambulance. Is that what you mean?
Well, but I mean in perpetuity. Like you can have my PS5, but you have to do 100 more episodes of the podcast.
Oh, okay. I can do 100
bare
more.
minimum.
That's
Okay.
not too bad.
Okay, at bare minimum. Anyway, we are a PlayStation podcast where Travis and I get together each and every week to discuss all of the news, rumors, new game releases, and much more in the world of PlayStation. We do it all in under 90 minutes. We post new episodes every Monday on all of the usual podcast services, as well as YouTube, where we also share gameplay videos, which we've been doing quite often and are doing quite well, it appears. But you can also find us on social media, of course. Our primary feed is Twitter, where we go by at the DualSense Pod. You can also find us on Instagram, which is the DualSense Podcast, where we share virtual photography from our time in games, taking pictures in photo modes. But we also have a Facebook page, if Facebook is your thing, and a blog, which is the DualSensePodcast.wordpress.com, where you can see our lovely faces and some blurbs about us, and we post the episodes there as well. So find us wherever you please, and we would love to talk PlayStation with you, like we do with many of you each and every week. And without further ado, well, almost without further ado, I forgot. Before we get into the news, Travis, I did have one thing that I wanted to mention. It was kind of some late breaking reporting, and I didn't really want to make it like its own news story because I'm tired of talking about it at this point, and especially after this. But late this afternoon, GameSpot posted an article, an investigative report that they have been working on for what looked like several months at least. And they have been diving into abandoned and blue box game studios and Hassan Karaman, whatever. And the long and short of it is that he is 100% a fraud, 100% a con artist, and Abandon is 100% a scam that is never going to come out. They talked about how he has basically stopped development on the game, according to people that he. This is so odd. So all of this info basically came from people that he has assembled and as like an inner circle, and they all communicate, and these are just fans who basically like kiss his ass, Bezo Mikulo, and he's made a PlayStation Network party group, like a group chat on PlayStation, and that's how they communicate with the app and on PlayStation. He said one of the people told GameSpot that they play so much Rainbow Six, that he plays so much Rainbow Six Siege that they don't see how he could get anything done on the game, for instance. And then they talked about how he promised all this stuff, all these updates and all this all these updates on progress and development and art and stuff like that, and they never happen. And it's this whole thing, and it's definitely worth reading the GameSpot article because it really goes into all of the stuff that's bullshit. So anyway, I just wanted to mention that, say that it's fake. You can quit worrying about it. It's never going to happen. I was way wrong about it being Kojima, but so was a lot of people back last year when this all first started happening. It's a fucking fraud. So just wipe that from your mind.
Yeah, he sounds like a politician. I mean,
right.
Whatever.
Yeah. Anyway, now let's jump into the news. Starting with Number 1. We got to enjoy our first State of Play event in more than 2 months this week, Travis, and it may have been one of the best yet, ever. Here's a recap of everything we saw, and in traditional fashion, like we always do here with these types of things, we'll kind of recap everything, and then we can talk about whatever we like to here. The show led off with a Resident Evil 4 remake trailer. The remake of the 2005 classic will launch on PlayStation 5 on March 24th of next year. And we also learned that it will include some type of VR content for PSVR 2. Capcom said they are updating the graphics and controls for modern day standards, but also reimagining the storyline of the game, which was interesting. Next up was 4 games in development for PlayStation VR 2. The first one was Resident Evil Village, which was announced to be in development for PSVR 2, and we saw a gameplay trailer that actually looked really good. Next was The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners Chapter 2 Retribution, which was announced for both PlayStation VR 1 and PlayStation VR 2. The sequel will include a new story campaign, new maps, new weapons and tools, and new challenges. It will launch later this year on the original PlayStation VR before coming to PSVR 2 in 2023. Developer Hello Games announced that No Man's Sky is in development to come natively to PlayStation VR 2, and that, of course, is already on the original PlayStation VR. And finally, of the VR montage, they finished out with a new gameplay trailer for Horizon Call of the Mountain. We learned that players will assume the role of a character called Ryas. I have no idea. A former Karja Shadow Warrior who is trying to redeem himself. Developer Guerrilla Games also revealed that Aloy will be in the game in some capacity as an NPC.
Shout out, Warrior.
Guerrilla Games wasn't done there, though, Travis, as Horizon Forbidden West narrative director Ben McCall announced that a big update dropped during the show, including a new game plus mode. That was very Harvey Birdman of me. Ben announced that a big Horizon Forbidden West update dropped during the show that included a new game plus mode with new trophies, an upgraded performance graphics mode with revamped temporal anti-aliasing, and more. Guerrilla also revealed that they are working on bringing variable refresh rate support and a 40 frames per second mode to the game. Next up was Marvel's Spider-Man Remastered. It was announced to be coming to PC and is in development at Nixxes Software, the newly acquired PlayStation studio. It is releasing on August the 12th. Then later on the PlayStation blog following the show, Insomniac Games revealed that Spider-Man Miles Morales will also be coming to PC sometime this fall. They shared that both games combined have sold more than 33 million copies worldwide as of May the 15th. We saw a new gameplay trailer for Stray, and it is indeed launching July 19th on PS4 and PS5 as previously leaked. It will also be a part of the PlayStation Plus Extra and Premium tiers for free when it launches. For free, in quotes. After that, a new story and gameplay trailer for the Callisto Protocol from Striking Distance Studios and Dead Space creator Glenn Schofield was shown. We learned that it is launching December 2nd of this year on PS4 and PS5, and pre-orders are now available. A third-person rollerblading shooter game called Roller Drum from Ollie Ollie developer Roll7 was announced for PS4 and PS5. They showed off a gameplay trailer, and it is launching August 16th with both single-player and online multiplayer modes. A post-apocalyptic dating sim action RPG called Eternites was announced and showed off a gameplay trailer. It is launching in early 2023 for PS4 and PS5, and it is the first game from developer Studio Sai. I think that's how you say that. It might be Sai. Next was Street Fighter 6 from Capcom. They showed off their first gameplay trailer for the title, which will include a variety of modes like arcade mode, online matches, training mode, and 2 new modes called World Tour and Battle Hub. It will also feature real-time commentary for the first time in the series. Street Fighter 6 is coming sometime in 2023 on both PS4 and PS5. After the show, the entire roster of 22 fighters leaked online if you're interested. Of course it did. We saw a gameplay trailer for dungeon crawling action RPG Tunic, which is making its way to PS4 and PS5 on September 27th. Existential exploration game Season, a letter to the future, I think is actually what it's called, reemerged with a new story and gameplay trailer, and it's launching this fall on both PS4 and PS5. And finally, Travis, the show ended with the big one, Final Fantasy XVI and a new extensive gameplay trailer. We also got a release window for the game. It is planned for launch sometime in the summer of 2023. Okay, so that's everything at the nearly 30-minute state of play. What did you think maybe about the show, and is there anything that stood out to you?
Yeah, the show wasn't bad. I thought the pacing was better than some of the other shows. And maybe that's just the games they were showing, but it didn't feel as like it just some of the other ones felt so drawn out. This one felt a little bit more concise, which I enjoyed.
Mm-hmm.
PSVR 2 stuff. So the Resident Evil obviously is a big thing, especially on VR 2, I think. That'll be interesting. Again, not something I'm gonna play,
Scary.
but
Yeah,
being able to watch people play it, like seeing what that perspective looks like, I think will be really cool. It's something that I would try, but just like I would try it for free, but I'm not going to spend money on it if that makes sense.
sure.
Don't give a shit about The Walking Dead. No Man's Sky, I think will be really dope. I mean, obviously it's on PSVR 1, but we know PSVR 2 is going to be better, right? It's going to add, some, I started to say animatronics. That's not what I meant. It's going to add some haptics, which will be really cool, I think, especially in the ships. I don't know. I think it'll be pretty cool. I'm excited to see what that looks like. That's,
Mm-hmm.
if I have PSVR 2, it would be worth I think it'd be worth trying No Man's Sky in VR to me. I think that'd be interesting.
100%.
And Horizon, we know it's going to be pretty kick ass. Like, if it's anything like the first two games, like this should be really awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Playing as a new character will be fun, and also seeing Aloy as kind of like an NPC. I think that'll be interesting. I do like seeing playable characters turn into NPCs in other games because it's
Sure.
just interesting to me. It adds a lot of depth to the lore for me, which sounds kind of weird when I say that out
No,
loud.
it's like yeah, it's like the Red Dead Redemption 2 thing, kind of
Yeah,
with John Marston.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
just cool. It's like, oh, there he is existing in his own kind of way. It's kind of
Mm-hmm.
fun, especially if you already played as the character. It kind of lets you see them make their decisions as they would themselves, quote unquote, and you can kind of see how how you use the character. It just, I don't know, it's just interesting to me.
Yeah.
Let's see what else we got here. I don't know what temporal anti-aliasing is.
Yeah. I won't pretend to know. I just think I won't pretend to know exactly, but I'm guessing. I think it has something to do with like screen tearing, like when you're
Oh, when you're moving or whatever?
yeah when you're moving,
Okay,
like things like jittery or whatever. I think I don't
that's
know,
fair.
but continue.
It also sounds like something the CIA used in the '70s to, like, and then all of a sudden they
Yeah.
started seeing aliens,
Yeah.
but other than that, I mean, look, as you guys know, I'm always here for new trophies. It looks interesting to me. I'm not excited about the 40 FPS, but that's because we're snobs.
Well. Yeah.
Whatever. Spider-Man to PC Master Race, we knew that was coming. That's a
Uh huh.
big deal for them.
Sure.
Again, like, as I've told you before, like, it's only a big deal for PlayStation in the sense that they're gonna make money. I kinda don't
Yeah.
like that this is a part of the PlayStation showcase because to me, this is a PC showcase. Like, "Oh,
Mm.
we're porting it over." Like, I don't care. That doesn't affect me. But if you told me it's
Mm.
coming to my PlayStation, like, that's what I wanna see. I wanna see things coming to my PlayStation, not stuff going to a
That's an
PC.
interesting point.
I don't care.
Yeah. That's an interesting point.
I'm still lost on Stray, but I think it's actually kind of interesting that it's gonna be a PS Plus extra on the
Hmm.
premium tier. That's something I hadn't considered, and that maybe that kinda makes sense as to why we didn't see anything about it for a while. Maybe they've just been holding it for that, so that made sense to me. The Roller Jerome game, you sent us a video, a gameplay video in the group chat. Like I told you in the group chat, I'm already bad at this game. I'm already not good,
Yeah.
but I will still play it. Like, it looks pretty fun. I assume what they were showing us was single player and a lot of that because I don't know how
Yeah.
you can go in slow motion online. Like, that doesn't
That's a good
I don't
point.
think that works.
Yeah. Yeah.
It did look fun, the artwork is really dope, but
It
but
is.
that's not surprising, like, Roll 7, I thought the Ollie Ollie stuff looked pretty cool too, so,
Mhm.
are you into the post-apocalyptic dating sim since you love post-apocalyptic stuff?
I don't know, man. I'm on the fence. I'm not turned. I'm turned off by the fact that it's like a JRPG, but I'm
Mm,
also not turned off by it because the combat looks kind of cool. But I don't know if I can do all that other
you can
stuff.
finally date a girl with 3 tits, so I know that's been something that you've wanted to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Street Fighter looks interesting. I mean, it's Street Fighter, right? It's what
Hmm.
you would expect. So I couldn't be less surprised that the roster leaked right after the show. That is
Right.
par for the course. I almost anticipated that if you can believe it.
Yeah.
Not excited about the dungeon crawling game, but I do like the name Tunic. And to answer a listener's question from a few weeks ago, Tunic Studios would be a name I would be into. Just
Oh,
rolling the ball out there. I don't know why I like that word so
interesting.
much. As we know, obviously I don't care about Final Fantasy, whatever, that's cool. I'm sure it'll be big. But
Yeah.
I like the existential exploration game.
That's how I classified it because it seemed very existential to
Right,
me.
and we're always stuck in the existential crisis that we live in, you know,
Yeah.
in perpetuity. How do you say that? Perpetuity? Perpet
Perpetuity.
That's the
Hmm.
word. So,
Yeah.
that looks interesting to me from that perspective. In a sense, in my brain, it's a puzzler, right? So,
Yeah, it is in a way. Yeah, thanks.
I like that kind of aspect of it. It's a game I would be interested in on sale, depending on
Hmm.
what kind of more I find out about the gameplay, what more I find out about the story, and kind of what more I could see from gameplay trailers. But that's kind of what I took from it. It wasn't terrible. It was better than I expected, to be honest with you. Completely
Yeah.
better than I expected.
Yeah. Well, I'll kind of run down too, like you did. I overall though, I thought the show was extremely strong. Like even though there are some things in here that aren't for me, really, like objectively, like taking my personal taste out of it, it is a very strong state of play, and I think you could argue that it's the best one we've had so far, from start to finish. Like you said, good pacing from a content standpoint, the way they mixed it. We had AAA, we had VR, we had some indies. It was good. Resident Evil 4 remake, not for me. The Resident Evil games are really not for me, but I appreciate the game and what they're doing. It looked like a huge upgrade. I know that's a big one. The fact that it's going to get some VR content is pretty awesome. Resident Evil Village also getting some PSVR. Well, I mean, it's not getting some PSVR 2 content. You're going to be able to play the whole game in PSVR 2 from start to finish. So that's really cool. I actually thought the Walking Dead Saints and Sinners game looked really cool on PSVR 2. It looked like a VR version of like Dying Light is basically what it looked like to me. And you could dual wield like a knife and a gun, and I don't know, it looked really dope actually.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna keep my eye on that one.
I feel like that we sucked the Walking Dead teat so much that it's like a old biker lady's tit. It's just saggy. They lick it and roll it up like a cigarette so it stays proper. Like,
uh,
I don't know.
sure. No, I understand what you're saying. I understand, but I'm looking at it more of like as like I said, like a Dying Light style game, and it looks really cool. And then No Man's Sky on PSVR 2. It's already on PSVR, but this is going to be a big upgrade, I'm assuming, for it. I know, like I've said before on the show, No Man's Sky is one of those games that I have had installed on my PS5 since day one. And eventually, one of these days, I'm going to go back and just start over because it's changed so much. And really, it changes a lot every year in some way because they keep updating it. But kind of like you were saying, like if you're going to have PSVR 2, like I feel like a space game or like a spaceship flying game is like one of those like must have games for a virtual reality headset. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So definitely going to keep my eye on that as well. I already own No Man's Sky, so I'll have it, which will be pretty awesome. And then, of course, the big VR game was Horizon, and I think that looks awesome. And it got a big, or not big, but it got a significant graphical upgrade. There were people comparing the last like kind of teaser trailer we saw of it to this, and it looks like it's got a graphical upgrade, which is cool. I thought the combat and the gameplay looked cool for a VR game, so I'm like, really excited about that. I think that's a headset seller. I won't say system; it's a headset seller, in my opinion. In terms of the Forbidden West stuff, the everybody is saying that the performance mode update is very significant and that the game looks maybe on par with the fidelity quality mode. And I think I'm going to wait though until they come out with the 40 FPS mode because I'm guessing that's going to be like the Spider-Man games where it's because I actually played Horizon Forbidden West. I know I'm a 60 FPS snob, but I actually played Forbidden West in the quality mode, which was a locked 30 frames per second. So, and it didn't make me sick, but if I can get to 40 and I can have all of the bells and whistles and ray tracing, etc., I think that might convince me to go back and maybe platinum the game. So we'll see. Spider-Man Remastered, now that you say that, it is a little bit odd that it was at the state of play because, I mean, it is a PlayStation game, but it's not coming to a PlayStation console. It's already there. So that is kind of weird now that you say that way. I hadn't really considered that. But I think that's just the world we live in now with PlayStation. They're going to continue to bring more games to PC, and they're going to keep popping up in this way. And
Mhm.
we know that from our conversation last week on the show that they're going to really explode. The PC front. They've hired people to create a PlayStation like storefront launcher app for PCs. So they're going all in on that.
Mm.
So that's an expectation we have to have moving forward,
Yeah.
I
As
think.
you know, I hate this world, so
We talked too, if you remember, about how the presentation that Sony gave, they're projecting to go from $80 million dollars of revenue on PC last year to $300 million this year. Well, this is how you do that. You put out Spider-Man Remastered and Spider-Man Miles Morales that sold 33 million copies on PlayStation. You put those out on PC this year. That's how you make 220 million more dollars than you did the year before. Let's see, Stray. Yeah, I'm interested in that. I've been interested in that, and it's awesome that I'm going to get to play it as a part of my subscription. So I'll take that. It's got a really cool setting. The Callisto Protocol looks fucking terrifying. God, it looks scary. And I'm someone who tried Dead Space back in the day and could not carry on because it was so terrifying and nerve wracking to hear all the aliens and shit crawling around like the air ducts and stuff. And they're going like even way beyond that now that we have 3D audio and stuff with this one. So I don't know. I don't think I can do this without pissing myself. I don't know that I'll play it, but I am very intrigued by it. So I don't know. I'm saying I don't know at this point, but I'm leaning no. And then my kind of game of the showcase was Roller Drome. This looked awesome to me. This looks really awesome. And like you said, the art style is incredible. Ollie Ollie World is a cool game. I own that, and it's kind of that same art style, very neat. And as far as I understand, it's single player and online multiplayer, so it can be either one or both, I should say. Eternites, the action, the dating sim action RPG thing. Like I said, the combat looks cool, but I don't know if I can do all of that, like, dating sim and like calendar management stuff and all that stuff. I don't know if I can do that. So we'll see. Street Fighter, not for me, but I know that's another big one. The art style looks cool on that. They've kind of changed it to a more realistic art style, so that's kind of neat. I did notice somebody tweeted today that the characters have butt physics because of course someone noticed that one of the females who was wearing like spandex, her butt jiggled when she was like doing karate kicks.
okay.
So I guess that's cool.
I guess you're gonna lose every match because you're coming.
Oh hell yeah. Tunic, no, not for me. I know I think it's pretty well reviewed, but not for me. Season, that looks cool. The art, another art style that's very striking. I don't know if I'll play it, but I'm intrigued by it at the very least, and mostly intrigued by the art style. Super cool. And then finally, Final Fantasy 16, also a game that's not for me, not for you as you said, but that is definitely a big one. We finally got that out there, got some more info. That was kind of one of the big ongoing rumors and elephants in the room, and now we know it's coming next summer. And I will say, it looks. I mean, it looks cool. I get it. It looks fun. The graphics look really good. The combat looks kind of cool. I mean, I get it, but it's just not for me. So anyway, that's all we saw from a big state of play, and we'll probably not hear much from Sony until they have a September showcase, is my guess. Although I have a couple of other things I wanted to touch on before we move on. One is my prediction is that God of War Ragnarok shows up at Summer Game Fest on June the 9th. I think we're finally going to get a release date then, and that release date is going to be in September. I think that's my one prediction there. And the other thing I wanted to say is I think earlier I had a light bulb, and I think I've figured out, kind of putting some pieces together, that the monthly refresh or update on games for the PlayStation Plus Extra and Premium tiers is going to happen on the third Tuesday of every month. It's just a theory of mine, because now we're getting the regular PS Plus on the first Tuesday of every month. They've said that they'll refresh the higher tiers in the middle of the month. So I think 2 weeks later on the third Tuesday makes sense. The reason why I say that is because Stray comes out on July 19th. That's a Tuesday. It's only coming to PS4 and PS5 on console, but also on PC, at least at launch. Secondarily, Roller Drome. Oh, and let me back up. So Stray, you can wishlist it now on PS5. You cannot pre-order it in any way. There's no price. So looking ahead to Roller Drome, it comes out on August the 16th. Also, the third Tuesday of August. There, you can wishlist it right now. There's no pre-order availability, no price. And in the past, that has been a very good indicator of games that are coming to PlayStation Plus. For instance, Hell Let Loose was the same way. You could wish list it for the longest time. You could never pre-order it, never had a price, even up to like 7 days, 10 days before the game came out. and then they announced that it was PlayStation Plus. The other game that in recent memory that's been that way is Deep Rock Galactic. Same thing happened in late December and into January when it came to PlayStation Plus. So just a theory of mine. I think third Tuesday is when we'll get the monthly refresh, and I think Roller Drome is also going to be on the service.
Can we get a tinfoil drop for when you come up with this stuff?
Yeah, we do need this sound effect, don't we? But if I'm right about that, I mean that's pretty fucking good, and I'll expect you to Bezo me culo.
All right.
Number 2, an analyst for Hong Kong based firm TF International Securities said that he believes Sony's PlayStation VR 2 headset will enter mass production in the second half of this year, with a potential launch scheduled in the first quarter of 2023. The analyst, Mr. Ming-Chi Kuo, tweeted, quote, "My latest supply chain check suggests that the assembler and several component providers of PlayStation VR 2 will start mass production with about 1.5 million units shipments in 2022. Sony may launch it in quarter one of 23, depending on the development schedule of PSVR 2 game titles." End quote. Earlier this year, Ross Young, the CEO of Display Supply Chain Consultants, claimed that the new headset would not launch until 2023 because of some sort of delay as well. So, what do you think? Do you think PSVR 2 in the first quarter of next year checks out?
It seems to. This is like our second or third smoke signal that it's going to be delayed. I
Yeah.
really hate that I heard your coffee rattle. Are you choking yet?
No, not yet.
Okay.
There you go.
I just it's odd to release it in quarter one to me. It just seems like a weird thing. I know that it's not really a system, you call it equipment, but still to me, like it just
Yeah,
seems like a holiday thing or a summer thing to me. It doesn't seem like a random thing you get in February, but whatever.
sure.
But yeah, so this kind of confirms what the delay cause is, which seems to be, are these game titles ready? Which is a pretty common thing that we're used to now with games getting delayed. So that all lines up, that all checks out. There's nothing kind of weird there. Is there I think at one point we talked about, was there a component missing? Well, it seems like at this point it's not a component issue. So yeah, I mean, if you don't have games for it, you can't release it. So that all kind of seems to line up. But I still think Q1
That
is
is true.
odd.
Yeah, I think without a doubt they wanted to get this out this holiday. I believe that wholeheartedly. I think that was the plan. I think it was supposed to be out this holiday. I think they have games that could be ready this holiday. I think they have given them extra time because of the hardware delay. Like you said, we've talked about on the show at various times how there has been a talk about how they if you remember, like back sometime last year, or maybe it was earlier this year, they had just finalized a contract for, like you said, for one of the components of the headset. So I definitely think the delay is some sort of hardware or component or logistical supply chain related issue and not necessarily the games, because I think that they've got games that are ready to go, definitely without a doubt, and that they could have made it work. I'm sure the developers don't have a problem because they're going to get a few extra months to work on their game. If I had to guess when this is going to launch, I'm going to say February. I think it'll be February. I think February with the headset, and then you have some big launch games like Horizon and some of these others. I just feel like that's a good time. And then historically, PlayStation releases a game in February, so it just kind of checks out for me. Anyway, yeah, so we got to wait a little bit longer for PSVR 2, but things are shaping up very well from what we're starting to see of the games as well. Number 3, June's PlayStation Plus game lineup was leaked and subsequently announced by Sony this week. The must-play reboot of God of War from 2018 headlines the list on PS4, while platform brawler Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl will come to both PS4 and PS5, and fighting game Naruto to Boruto Shinobi Striker will come to PS4 this month. So that's the list for June for the now PlayStation Plus Essential, the former PlayStation Plus. What do you think about the lineup?
It was a pretty good lineup. I think that this is a reflection of, in a sense, we're switching to this new platform of PlayStation, whatever you call it, membership online, and it seems like they put these games out. It seems very strategic timing to put these games out, because obviously God of War is a banger, one of the best PlayStation games of all time. Also, I think this gives credit to your idea that the new one's going to be announced this month, because
Mm-hmm.
we tend to see these games, if it's a sequel, we tend to see another version of it come along the way, or we see it pop up in another way, something like that. So that seems to all line up there. I think the Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl is a great kind of pull for the younger audience, and I don't think it's a terrible game. And then, of course, you have Naruto My Boruto, and that, kind of is the anime crowd. So, it's kind of covering 3 different crowds here, and they all seem to
Mm.
be pretty solid games. So, I think it's a pretty good lineup, and I think this was a strategic choice of games considering the new platform they're moving to, or the new strategy they're moving to with its online system.
Yeah. God of War is a must play. It's without a doubt the biggest game on the service this month. Well, of the editions, I mean, you haven't played it and you absolutely fucking have to, and you have no excuse now. It's free. Actually, it's been free because you have PlayStation Plus, so you've been able to play it from the PlayStation Plus collection.
Uh-huh.
And as someone who enjoys Ghost of Tsushima, this is the next closest thing in my opinion. And it's a fucking travesty that you haven't played it.
Well, I enjoy samurais. I don't care much for large men wearing loincloths.
I hear you, but just do yourself a favor and just give it an hour. Just give it 60 minutes. And if nothing's clicking with you after 60 minutes, then you can delete it. But I really
Mhm.
think that you'll find something that you like, and it's not going to take you like it's not like a 70-hour game or nothing crazy
Mhm.
like that. It's a single player game. You need to try it. I'm begging you.
How long
Anyway,
is the tutorial?
there's no tutorial. You're right in it,
Oh, wow, that's the best thing I've ever heard.
and it's one of the. Here's the best thing about it is the reason why I say 60 minutes is because after the first 15 minutes, if you're not into it after that, it's one of the best opening scenes of a game I've ever played.
I have a 15-minute cinematic to sit through.
No, negative. You'll see. Just try it. Just download it and
You know
try
what?
it. You'll
I'll
see.
live stream it and complain the whole time.
Yeah, please. Yeah, do that. Either live stream it or record yourself, from the capture thing up and do it because I really think that you'll be surprised. So anyway, the other thing I want to say is that this is 2 of the last 3 months, if I remember correctly, that we've had 2 fighting games of the 3 games. Why are they doing that? Quit doing that. Like, quit giving us 2 games in the same genre. Stop it. Fucking
Mm.
stop it. It's idiotic. I don't care how good they are. It's just silly. Anyway,
You sound
I
like you're telling
digress,
your
but
dog to quit pissing on the floor.
oh yeah, I do that a lot too. What else? There's something else I want to say you made me think of. Oh yeah, Naruto to my burrito. Anyway, so yeah, God of War makes it a really good month. Oh yeah, and then the last thing, it's definitely. I think that you're right. I think there's some synergy there between having it on the service and then them announcing the release date. Showing us more, and I think that's going to happen in just a few days. So buckle up. All right, Travis. Number 4, we have a bunch of news nuggets here as well. As always, feel free to jump in here wherever you see fit. First nugget: Assassin's Creed Origins, the best Assassin's Creed and the only one that I've ever platinumed, received a 60 frames per second update this week when playing the game in backwards compatibility on PlayStation 5. Website Video Games Chronicle reported that actor Will Arnett has joined PlayStation Productions' Twisted Metal television series as the voice of Sweet Tooth. Elsewhere, Deadline reported that AEW wrestler Samoa Joe will be the actor physically portraying Sweet Tooth on screen.
Okay.
This is outrageous.
Uh,
The people that they have doing this show
uh-huh.
blows my fucking mind
Yeah, well,
still to this day.
I love that Will Arnett's involved because I really enjoy Will Arnett. He has a great voice. Shout out to Lego
Yeah.
Batman.
Yes.
This is a car game. How is a human portraying a car physically? I'm
Well,
lost completely.
well, if you remember from the game, Sweet Tooth is an actual person. He's the dude in the ice cream truck.
Yeah, I just
So Sweet Tooth is the man, not the truck.
when I think about the game, I think about the vehicles. I don't think about
Yeah,
the humans. So like,
that's fair.
I still don't know how they make the TV show.
Me either. Me either. It's got to be a lot different from what we're remembering the game is in our head.
So does Samoa Joe just like mouth the words?
No, he'll have that clown mask on all the time, so he'll just have to be there and like move his head and shit. That's all.
Oh, perfect. That's creepy.
Next nugget: Windows Central's Jez Corden claimed on a recent podcast that he heard sometime last year that the Indiana Jones game being developed at Bethesda's Machine Games would not be exclusive to Xbox. Although he did note that things may have changed since then, so it's potentially coming to PlayStation as well. That might be a Disney thing because I think that's a Disney property. Jeff Keighley's Summer Game Fest has more than 30 partner companies participating in the event from June 9th through June 12th, and even PlayStation branded their State of Play this week as a part of the Summer Game Fest for the first time ever. Rightfully so. It was a big one. The first Sonic Frontiers gameplay teaser trailer was revealed this week. If you're interested, people are very divided over that.
Why?
Some people say it looks awesome, and some people say it
Mm.
looks boring and empty and lifeless. So, whichever.
I hit a hedgehog on the way to work yesterday, and a bunch of coins came out.
Yeah, did you stop and get them?
Nah, I just kept going. I don't fucking need them.
Also, veteran Final Fantasy producer and former franchise brand manager Shinji Hashimoto announced his retirement from Square Enix this week. Hashimoto joined the company in 1995 and was either a producer or executive producer on almost every installment in the franchise since 1997's Final Fantasy VII.
Is there a Final Fantasy 1?
There is. Certainly
Nobody
is.
talks about it.
Certainly is.
I'm just... Also, Hashimoto Studios, great name.
It is. Yeah. Also, publisher Konami confirmed that eFootball will not be getting the highly anticipated Master League mode until 2023. That's basically the My GM mode, or like career mode, essentially. The French government ordered its staff to, oddly enough, no longer use the terms streaming or esports in an attempt to preserve the purity of the French language, because there are French words that can be used in their place. Very odd.
It's just so fucking pretentious.
It really is.
Everything
really
about
is.
them. They haven't won a war since 1540, basically, since William of Orange conquered themselves. They technically lost the war that made France. I'm just saying, shut the fuck up, guys. Do something nice. Your best soccer player can't do a fucking thing at Manchester United, first of all.
Well, let me tell you, I tried to take over they have won a war recently, because I tried to take over France with my son-in-law on Crusader Kings 3, and they stomped my ass. They stomped a mud hole in my ass.
That's good. Classic.
So they won a war in 2022.
You should try to come from the German side. They usually fold.
I'll do that. I'll circle back. Oh, that's good. Also, Gran Turismo 7's latest update reportedly increased the prices of a number of the game's rarest and most expensive cars. The prices were revised, quote, according to real-world valuations under guidance from Haggerty, end quote, which we knew this was going to happen. According to the patch notes for update 1.15, like I said, we knew it was going to happen, but it's still pissing people off.
Yeah, which that says a lot about our culture. The thing that's more annoying to me is that everything's getting more expensive because of inflation, and now I can't even buy a fake car because of inflation, let alone a real car.
That's hilarious.
It just pisses me off.
I never considered that. But honestly, obviously this is your game. Do you think that's a good feature of the game?
I think it's cool. I think it's interesting. Like, I've always wondered how they did their prices anyway. The thing that makes it not cool is I can't sell cars. If I could sell my cars, I think it would be a win all the way around. This is like a 50% win for me. It's a really cool idea that's like a little nuance to the game. And it'll show you too, like when you go buy the car, it'll be an up or a down arrow. I mean, people forget cars do also depreciate on the game. Like, I've seen games in the legendary car market go down, or cars, I mean. So, that's fine. The biggest thing they need to fix is every time there's an update, the cars drive drastically different. And that's a much bigger issue than if they raise the price of a car.
Sure. Next nugget. The same Reddit user who originally leaked Warner Brothers' Multiversus game has now claimed that a number of unannounced characters will be coming to the game. Travis actually shared this with us at the end of last episode, but I had to cut it out. So here it is. Some of the leaked characters include Joker, LeBron James, Fart Noise, Godzilla, Scorpion, or Scropian is right there. Scrodium, yeah. Ted Lasso, which is super weird. Don't understand that one. The Animaniacs, brilliant. Rick and Morty, and The Wicked Witch of the West from Wizard of Oz, among many, many others.
Fuck LeBron James. I'm excited to play with the Animaniacs. Wicked Witch of the West might actually be pretty cool. I'm interested to see how the Joker works. Fuck LeBron James. And they also had some other Mortal Kombat characters. Fuck LeBron James.
Yes, indeed. Also, Warner Brothers Games has decided to cancel the Russian language version of the upcoming Gotham Knights and not sell the game in Russian territories, according to insiders, due to their actions in Ukraine. Also, Sony's attempt to boost the 50 Hz PAL versions of classic games via patch recently on the new PlayStation Plus service only made the graphical fidelity of those games worse. However, the launch of the service in Japan this week has confirmed that the NTSC territories are getting the 60 hertz versions of the PS1 classics. Thank God. So the better versions. Insider Tom Henderson reported that a second map similar in size to Rebirth Island is in development for the upcoming Call of Duty Warzone 2. A Ubisoft spokesperson told outlet Axios that the company will not have a showcase event this June, but will instead hold an event later this year. They traditionally had their events in July, actually, I think, or at least they did last year, but we'll see.
They got a lot going on right now.
Yeah. Trying not to get shut down and acquired and sued out of this universe.
All at the same time.
All at the same time. Also, Take-Two CEO Strauss Zelnick said this week that bringing their new games day one to subscription services doesn't make financial sense for the company, adding that he agrees with Sony's market assessment on that front. It's interesting. Two of the biggest players agree on that. Also, Tekken 7 has now sold more than 9 million copies worldwide, with the series crossing 53 million copies sold in total lifetime. An alliance of 15 US based child advocacy groups have petitioned the Federal Trade Commission to investigate publisher Electronic Arts over its loot box practices, particularly in their FIFA games. That's good.
Did I tell you about the kid at my wife's school? And he stole his mom's credit card and came to school and was using this Chromebook to buy loot boxes. And he spent like $2,000 on the credit card.
No.
Yeah, and then she asked the school to suspend him. And I was like,
what?
He didn't steal the school's credit card. He stole your credit card, dumbass, first of all.
What is that?
I don't know. But anyway,
Jesus Christ.
Loot boxes are kind of a problem.
Next nugget. Developer BioWare revealed the name of the next Dragon Age game, Travis, as Dragon Age Dreadwolf. Terrible name. That's awful.
What's funny to me is they're like, what are we going to call this? And they knew Dragon Age was part of it. They just had Dragon Age on a whiteboard for months.
And then somebody just walked up one day, put a colon after it, and wrote Dreadwolf. They're like, fucking brilliant.
And the argument was, should we use a colon or a semicolon?
I mean, Dragon Age Inquisition's a great name.
Oh, that
in my
is
opinion.
good.
That was the older one. Dreadwolf is terrible. I don't know, whatever.
Yeah, Dreadwolf's a bad band.
Yes. Next nugget. Website GamesIndustry.biz reported that Sony has officially sold more than 20 million PlayStation 5s, and the Japanese giant told the outlet that it is planning a quote-unquote significant ramp-up in PlayStation 5 production for the remainder of the year, and that is evident from their financial briefing from last week that they're anticipating selling, I think, 18 million consoles this year. Also, website Push Square reported that Sony Interactive Entertainment has established a new China software business department that will be led by Sean Kelly, who is already leading the charge for PlayStation in China. This move appears to be an extension or evolution of some sort of the PlayStation-backed China Hero project. Developer Don't Nod Entertainment has changed their name to, wait for it, Travis, Don't Nod, DON''T space NOD, and announced that they have 6 games in development. Wow. EA announced that Madden NFL 23 will, of course, feature the legendary coach, commentator, and the game's namesake, John Madden, on the cover after he passed away back in December. They also announced that this year's game on current-gen systems will include something called Field Sense technology for more realistic player movement and control. Also, speaking of EA, their Dodge Brawl game Knockout City officially went free to play this week on PS4 and PS5 alongside the game's 6.0 update. You can now get your broken or dead PlayStation Vita disassembled and framed by a company called Grid Studio, who is known for taking busted consumer tech and turning them into framed works of art. It's really cool. And when mine die, I might have to do that to one of mine as well.
I could break it for you.
Imagine somebody taking us apart when we die and putting us in a frame.
I think that's what they do at medical schools, right?
Oh, true. I guess that's what the Egyptians did, basically. Anyway, puzzle adventure game The Gardens Between will get a native PS5 version on June 16th. The upgrade will be free to PS4 owners. Konami is taking free-to-play game Super Bomberman R Online offline on December the 1st. That was short-lived. A native PS5 version of action RPG Biomutant has been discovered on the PSN backend database, meaning that a current-gen upgrade is surely on the way. PlayStation will be pulling 2018's God of War off the NVIDIA GeForce Now service as of July the 1st. Leaked screenshots of PC ports of both Returnal and Sackboy: A Big Adventure made it online this week. The screenshots don't appear to be faked, as they include very convincing settings menus, among other things. Both games were previously discovered in Steam's database as well under codenames Project Marmalade and Oregon. So those are some more PlayStation games incoming to PC. Website PlayStation Lifestyle reported that Bungie has an unannounced Destiny-related project in the works, according to a new job posting for a principal producer. Hideo Kojima shared a photo this week on Twitter of a video call with Summer Game Fest Jeff Keighley, meaning that Death Stranding 2 could potentially be revealed there on June the 9th, as the two are known to have a close relationship. I'd say that's a pretty foregone conclusion. We can expect Death Stranding there on June the 9th. Also, horror game developer Bloober Team announced that they will make an appearance at the June 9th Summer Game Fest as well, potentially with a Silent Hill project reveal. Square Enix continues to support the abandoned action RPG Babylon's Fall with a 3-month-long second season of post-launch content, which launched this week for the literal one person playing the game.
He's very excited.
Hey, I give them props, man. They're sticking with it. They're dedicated. Also, YouTuber Brian Paul, a noted PSVR leaker, claimed this week that Supermassive Games, the studio behind Until Dawn, was at one point working on a Killzone VR game, but that Sony took them off the project in 2019 because they were not happy with the game's progress. Supermassive previously released 2018's Bravo Team and The Inpatient PSVR. This is super interesting because it makes me wonder if the other shooter game that we know Guerrilla is working on, because they hired the Rainbow Six Siege guy, is a Killzone VR game. And if that's true, that really disappoints me that it's not SOCOM, but that might be a distinct possibility.
I'd say that's more likely than anything.
Yeah, I do too. Next nugget. Website PlayStation Universe reported that the following games received update patches this week: Virtua Fighter 5 Ultimate Showdown, Destiny 2, Dauntless, No Man's Sky, SnowRunner, The Division 2, Sniper Elite 5, and Genshin Impact. A new rumor suggests Russian steampunk first-person shooter Atomic Heart may be delayed until 2023, although developer Mundfish has since denied the rumor. Publisher Gearbox has acquired Tiny Tina's Wonderlands developer Lost Boys Interactive. Borderlands 3 received its full cross-platform play update this week and added variable refresh rate support on PS5 as well. Twitter account PlayStation Game Size discovered a release date in the PSN backend of June 16th for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. Cyberpunk 2077 sales rose 600% following the release of the next-gen update earlier this year. Also, developer TriAce confirmed that new details on Star Ocean: The Divine Force will be revealed later this month. A recent Elden Ring patch quietly made some boss duos less aggressive, such as the Valiant Gargoyles and the Godson duo.
That's good.
Okay. Skateboarding sim Session, Skate Sim, will leave early access this fall on PC and eventually come to both PS4 and PS5 sometime after that.
It's exciting to play on my skateboard rig.
Warner Brothers Games will show off more gameplay of the upcoming Gotham Knights at Summer Game Fest on June 9th, if you're still interested in that game after the lackluster looking gameplay we've already seen. Website Gematsu reported that Square Enix announced a JRPG romancing saga Minstrel Song, not minstrel, but minstrel, like not, anyway, remastered for PS4 and PS5. It will launch sometime this winter. THQ Nordic released the previously leaked standalone multiplayer DLC Destroy All Humans Clone Carnage this week for PS4. They also announced Destroy All Humans 2 Reprobed PS5. The remastered version of the original will launch on August 30th, and pre-ordering the game will come with the aforementioned multiplayer DLC. Point-and-click horror game Saint Kotar will launch on PS4 and PS5 on October the 14th. Survival horror game White Day: A Labyrinth Named School will release on PS5 sometime in September. 2D run-and-gun platformer Warhammer 40,000 Shootas Blood and Teeth will launch on PS4 and PS5 on October 20th. Action RPG Warhammer 40,000 Inquisitor Martyr will get a native PS5 version sometime later this year with 4K support, high-res textures, improved physics, DualSense support, and cross-gen multiplayer modes. Retro Doom-style first-person shooter Warhammer 40,000 Bolt Gun was announced for PS4 and PS5. It will launch sometime in 2023. And yet another Warhammer game, this time a computer RPG called Warhammer 40,000 Rogue Trader, was announced for consoles, but no specific platforms or release date were given. Made in Abyss Binary Star Falling into Darkness will launch on PS4 on September the 2nd in North America and Europe. Side scrolling survival adventure game Endling Extinction is Forever. Ain't it though? Will release on PS4 on July 19th. First person horror mystery game Sharon's Case? Sharon's Staircase will launch on PS4 and PS5 sometime this October.
There's a show about that on Netflix. It's called The Staircase.
You're right. Arcade first person shooter Post Void, Post Haste, will launch on PS4 and PS5 on July 21st. Amazon Games has entered a publishing agreement with developer Disruptive Games for an unannounced online cooperative and competitive multiplayer action adventure game that is said to be coming to multiple platforms and is based on a new IP. Disruptive has previously worked as co-developers on Diablo 2 Resurrected, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2, and Godfall. They also are the developers of PlayStation VR title Megalith. Publisher Devolver Digital will hold its annual showcase called Marketing Countdown to Marketing on June 9th at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. That is brilliant.
I do enjoy that.
And finally, Travis, Gematsu reported that Activision and Infinity Ward officially announced that they will host the worldwide reveal of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 on June 8th at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. They will also show more gameplay on June 9th at the Summer Game Fest. And that is all for the news this week. Very excited for Modern Warfare 2. I'll now turn it over to Travis for a pretty good list of this week's new games.
31st, we have Destroy All Humans, Clone Carnage, Insomnus, and SnowRunner. SnowRunner has a lot of play on PC. On the 1st, we have Crazy Chicken Cart 2, Floofy's Adventure, Pinku Cult Hex Mortis, and Slit. On the 2nd, we have Arcade Archives, The Tower of Draga, Behind the Frame, The Finest Scenery. It sounds like a VH1 show. We also have Gig Apocalypse, Gravatar Recharged, Gym Power, The Lost Dimension, Pretty Girls Speed, Soldiers, but like your soul, and Surface Rush. On the 3rd, we have Basketball Pinball, which sounds interesting. Darts Up, which I hope is a darts game. Dragon Lapis, Grizzland, Mini Golf Adventure, Ninja Break, Space Kaboom, Super Perils of Baking, 10, Tokyo Warfare Turbo, and Wonder Boy Collection.
Nice. There really is nothing to speak of this week. There's so many games, but there's really nothing, in my opinion, to speak of. I mean, SnowRunner PS5 upgrade is cool, I guess. Man, yeah, this is rough. Anyway, that's all for the new games this week, and let's start to wrap the show up here, Travis, like we always do, by discussing what we have been playing and anything that we're looking forward to playing. What do you got?
I think we played Sandstorm, but I don't remember it.
I think so too. I put it on my list. I think that we did like Saturday.
And I don't really remember it. So yeah, it was great. Oh no, we did, because I sent you that video where I shot the guy in the head and he flew into the wall, and it made no sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
I hip fired him in the face.
Yeah, that was a cool glitch.
And then I played some Gran Turismo. They put one of the cars up that I need for the trophy for the Le Mans car, and it's like 9 million credits. I was like, cool, I'll just, I can do this 30-minute race. I could do 2 a day, and in a week I'll be able to buy the car. Cool, no problem. But like, since the last update, like I said earlier, I couldn't drive the car. Like I couldn't. It was incredible. I don't know what the problem was. It was like driving a minivan. Like everything was real wobbly. I don't really understand. They've added 3 cafe books to the game. I tried to do one of those. Same problem.
Okay.
It was impossible. So I went to the sport races online just to see what was up this week, because there's 3 different like ranked championships starting this week, and I was looking at the daily races, and there's one that's at Daytona, and it's just the tri-oval. Once I realized what it was, I was like, I'm going to do this, because there's never just tri-oval races on Gran Turismo, so I knew it would be outrageous. So I sent you the picture. I am 4/100ths off the world record at Daytona.
Wow.
And I'm 675th in the world. There's so many people that are fast on the oval, because you can't really not be fast. Like you're just flat out. Like there's nothing you can do. So all the speed that you get is about carrying momentum and being as smooth as you can on the wheel. I can't get any faster. I've done so many laps yesterday. I got as fast as I could. Like my fifth lap, I set my fastest lap, and I haven't even been within a tenth of it since then. Like I don't know what I did that one lap. It was some sort of a miracle. I did some races. The first race I did, I had the wrong car. Started 12th, and I finished second. I just kind of worked my way through the field using the draft. It was a lot of fun. Then I used the actual car everybody had been using. I set my time, which I was on the pole. I think I did 7 races. I had like 4 or 5 poles. Did not win a race. I got a third. I got wrecked in every other race.
That's
What
awful.
happens is you draft. You just draft for 7 laps, and you can't pass somebody without a drafting partner because once you pull out of the slipstream, you lose all your momentum. So like what ends up happening is, I would just bump draft people because they would usually like they would get a draft partner. They'll pass me on the first lap. I'll let them pass me. There's no point in fighting for 7 laps, and I'll just ride along in the train. And then the last lap, you kind of try to time your move. I got a second place doing that. The other races, I got crashed on the last lap, like in different ways. I got crashed coming into the finish line one time, spun through the grass, crossed the line in fourth. I got crashed coming out of the last turn, and I was only hit. I got turned once, like the guy just pit maneuvered me basically. But the other 3 or 4, like the people in front of me crashed and they spun back into the track and hit me or whatever. And the guy in fourth just drove by us and won.
Jesus.
And I wasn't like mad about it. I get it. Like it's hard to race like that. It's hard to draft and race that close to people when you're all going 180. Like it's difficult to do. That's why NASCAR is a difficult sport, even though it looks easy.
Man, all you do is turn and left.
Right. But it did make me want to do iRacing on an oval. But the thing
Mm.
is like I did do a race where a guy did not know how to bump draft and he kept braking. Like when you get close to the car, he'd hit his brakes. And then I was bump drafting him. So he would tap his brakes and I would just plow the fuck out of him and it would just send him. I was like, I wasn't trying to do that, but like, like
Yeah.
you got a bump draft, man. Like that's how you stay ahead in the race. But he ended up crashing himself, which is what happens. Like when you're in a train of 7 cars doing 180 and you're tapping the brake, like you're gonna get crashed or you're gonna spin yourself because you're gonna break traction. But
Right.
no,
Right.
it's fun. It's fun because we never get to do that on that game. But yeah, I'll try some more this weekend, just to see what I can get out of it. It's kind of goofy and it's quick, so I enjoy it.
Well, like you said, we played some Insurgency. I don't remember anything about it either. I'm sure I had fun because I do enjoy the game a lot. So yeah, I played some Insurgency. We played some F1. That our time with that is done for now until the new one comes out. At least for me, my EA Play thing expired. So today actually, so I'm
Yeah,
done
pretty
with
much.
that. Yeah, so we're done with that for a month actually. Played some more Soundfall this week, and that's that twin stick top down rhythm based shooter. Still really enjoying that. It's fun. The soundtrack is great on that game, really good, and it's obviously with a rhythm based game, it's a must play with headphones, and it's great. Played some WWE a little bit this week, a couple matches just on a whim, and that game's just pure fun. I know I keep saying it, it's just pure fun. Like you just, I don't know, it's really well done. So, and I'm not even a wrestling fan, so that I think that is a pretty strong endorsement of it. Then I played some Battlefield 2042. I actually played it last night, and I gotta say, the game is definitely improved. Like the game is a lot better from what I remember originally at launch. I haven't come across any issues. I've been getting in games fine. Player counts are fine. No glitches, nothing like that. The first season of content is coming sometime in June. I'm gonna guess like right after State of Play, or not State of Play, Summer Game Fest is my guess. Sometime after that. So yeah, it's. I mean, for it's I don't know. It's good. I guess I gotta be careful. I don't want to say it's great. It's good. It's better. I also tried that Roller Champions free to play game from Ubisoft. It's okay. It's just okay. It's just another one of those like forgettable free to play games, in my opinion. But to each his own. Also played Hell Let Loose. So they dropped an update I think it was last week, maybe, or the week before, they dropped a big update on PS5. The best part is that when I loaded into it, I got into a game that was one of the new maps, and then it ended in like 30 seconds. So I mean, then the next map was one I've already played before. And then I was like, okay, cool. So I'm going to try out the shotgun. Well, the shotgun is only on certain classes and you have to unlock it. And I'm like, God. But with all that said, I played with some of the people that are in this group that were there with us at launch that we used to play with sometimes. So I played with Sergeant Slaughter. He's
Yep.
still around, of course. Played with him and some of the other guys on there, and it was still fun, even though I didn't get to play any of the new maps or anything. It was the best damn medic there ever was. Just reviving all the guys and shit.
Just
Great
like
game.
Hacksaw Ridge.
Just like Hacksaw Ridge, except I actually shot at people. Then lastly, I played some more Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and I will say that the game is better than I remember it. And I don't know if that's just from, I think I played, because I played it at launch, which is also consequently the launch of the PS5. So there was a lot to play, a lot going on. And so it's better than I remember, but I have played for like 8 hours since in the last couple of weeks. And last night I was curious, and I've just been mainlining the story, just doing story quests. And last night I was curious, so I looked up a walkthrough of it, and I have played for 42 hours. Okay. I have 11 of 83 trophies, and I'm not even 50% through the main story of the game. That is a fucking problem.
I hate it.
Why have I played for 42 hours? I'm not even halfway through the story. I should be about done, in my opinion. So I like the game, but I cannot do that. I'm sorry. I cannot play that for 100 hours or something stupid. So
Yeah,
whatever.
It's
Moving on
longer
from
than the
that.
Vikings are actually relevant.
Right. So I had to quit, man. I had to quit. It's too much. Like, and it's obviously bloated, and I don't know. They could have definitely taken some out of that. And I feel that way about a lot of games. But anyway, so that's everything I played. It's everything we played. And we'll get out of here now. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. If you did, don't forget to subscribe so that you'll get a new episode delivered every Monday on your service of choice. Also, if you could leave us a rating, like stars, thumbs up, hearts, whatever, that'd be much appreciated. Or a written review would be great as well. It helps us fight the algorithm monsters. And also, if you could share us with a friend or a loved one who you think may enjoy the show, where they can get all of the PlayStation news in less than 90 minutes every week, that would be much appreciated. Don't forget to find us on social media, Twitter at the DualSense Pod, but we're also on Instagram and Facebook. We have a blog as well, the DualSensePodcast.wordpress.com. Find us on whichever platform you choose, and let's talk some PlayStation. Then one more thing before we go, just a heads up that the next episode 102, will not be coming out next week. Next Monday, we'll be putting out a bonus episode. We will be joined by a very special guest from someone in the PlayStation podcast scene from another part of the world, literally another hemisphere of the world. We'll have him on, and we're going to talk PlayStation generally and state of play and what we think the future looks like for the rest of this year and 2023 from PlayStation and so on. So that'll be good, and that'll fill in for Travis and I as we take a vacation here in the coming weeks. We're both going on a vacation at the same time.
Yeah,
so
our wives are going to spend all of our money. It's fine.
Yeah, our wives are going to bankrupt us. And then we'll return the following week with a proper episode 102 with all of the news that we missed while we were gone, which I'm guessing is going to be a shit ton. So that'll be fun. Anyway, you guys take care. Have a great week, and we'll talk at you next time. Bye-bye.